Good day. My name is Andrew Lewis. I'm a retired Vice Admiral in the United States Navy and a retired NATO officer. As I've been watching the reports of the NATO Summit this week, it harkened back to some memories of my time in the service. I spent over 40 years in uniform, 36 years on active duty as a naval officer and a NATO officer. And during that time frame, it spanned from the Cold War to 2021. And during the Cold War, everything we did in NATO, everything was done, everything tactically, operationally, and strategically was done with an eye toward the Soviet Union, to keeping them at bay. But the thing that has become clear to me over time in serving with NATO is that the world is cleaner, it's safer, it's wealthier, it's more well-fed, freer, and more democratic than it ever has been. And that is due to the alliance, NATO alliance, the political alliance as underwritten by the military arm of NATO. When I was a young officer in 1991, I launched off the flight deck of the USS John F. Kennedy during Desert Storm. And that coalition, the backbone of that coalition were NATO countries. And in 1993, 1994, when I was on exchange with the Royal Navy, I flew in Bosnia, over Bosnia, in an operation called Operation Deny Flight, which was the first NATO out-of-area operation after the Cold War. And then in 2001, as most people know, or maybe most people don't know, the only time that Article 5 has been invoked by NATO was after 9/11, when America was attacked. And I've served alongside in combat operations with my NATO partners since that time. Where this all really became clear to me was when in 2018 at a previous NATO summit, I was tasked with standing up the third operational command within NATO, Joint Force Command Norfolk. In that command, I gained a tremendous amount of respect and built friendships and professional relationships with the newest NATO members, specifically Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and then Finland, and hopefully soon Sweden as a full member of NATO, and someday, more than likely, the Ukraine. And that, along with traditional NATO partners, NATO allies, the UK, the Canadians, the Norwegians, the Danes, the French, the Germans, and the Spanish were all represented with flag officers in the command, as well as a senior political advisor to the command was from Iceland, one of the stalwarts of NATO from the beginning. So since 1949, NATO has been an organization that has maintained global security to make the world a better place. And we should always remember that. And the last thing I will say is that I would leave three things with US people, with US officers, whether you're in the military or not. The first of which is, it's good to have friends. And NATO are really good friends. We are all really good friends. We can face any adversary, whether it be a nation state or a terrorist organization or a pandemic, together with NATO. Secondly, we are NATO. We are guilty in the United States of talking too frequently as if NATO in the third person. We are a part of NATO, and NATO is not NATO without US and the US in the lead. And finally, I would say, to optimize all the nations within NATO, we need to be able to interoperate and work together better. And it is a political organization in which we take our orders from the political leadership on the military side of things. Thank you and have a great day.